Bandidos, what up? Your boy Tux here. Hunters are some of the toughest enemies you're going to face in the Division 2. Elite badasses with skills like ours and tactics that'll keep you on your toes for sure. Whether you're taking on the base game hunters or the Warlords of New York dudes or your mission hunters, or hyping up for the Brooklyn DLC with its 8 new hunter riddles, this guide is for you. Solo or rolling with a squad, beginner or vet, you're about to learn how to shut these guys down. Let's do this.
Wait, did we just become best friends? So nice to meet you. I think you're cool.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
So let's run through the hunters you'll meet out there. You have the base game hunters. So these guys stock DC. You spawn them by solving puzzles, and they drop ivory keys to unlock the shield splinter. Pretty good AR. WONY hunters, so New York's tougher breed, they drop off white keys for the hunter killer named chest piece. And then you have a set of mission hunters. You'll clash with 4 of them in the new master difficulty climax mission for Kelso. They also pop up in the Summit Floor 100, Kelso's Year 6 Season 2 manhunt. You got the recruiter hunter as well as the deceit hunter and the Schaefer manhunt. So for the Brooklyn DLC, I'm excited about this because there's going to be 8 new hunter riddles dropping with it. That means fresh challenges, and word is they might drop keys for a named FAMAS called the Huntsman, and that's going to have perfect frenzy. This is unconfirmed until we actually get it, but the hype is real. This was seen during the PTS. To beat hunters, you got to outsmart them. So here's what they do and how to fight back. Hunters use SHD tech to jam your skills. If you're out of cover relying on a skill and they jam it, you're toast. So you always need to be wary of this. Right when they spawn, they're gonna jam your skills. That's an automatic. After that, you can hit them first with a jammer pulse to mess up their tech so that they don't jam you. And if you time it right and you have the appropriate cooldown, you can keep them always jammed so that they never jam you. Running Technician with a Hive, this can block their jams for your entire team. Just keep that hive out of sight or it'll end up being jammed too. It's not a perfect system. Another way to keep them from jamming your skills is keeping them under a status effect. When they're blind or on fire, electrocuted, or even when they're in riot foam, that's a disruption from them using their disruptor mechanic. You could also flat out build to be disrupt resistance using a mix of hazard protection and disrupt resistance gear mods. You have to be approximately 95% disrupt resistance to be immune to them jamming your skills. Don't use attack skills like turrets or drones when you're fighting these guys because they're gonna hack them and turn them on you. This is a big no-no and a basic when it comes to taking on hunters, so stick to safer options. And be wary of their skills. Hunters love throwing turrets behind you, so watch your back. If they deploy a defender drone, it's important to note that you need to take that out first or you won't even scratch them. Choke points are meta for the hunters. These are your real MVP. Set up a kill box with choke points to trap them. Use shock traps or riot foam to freeze them in place and then unload damage. If they slip away, they'll heal and you're starting all over. Choke points are also a great strategy to help stop that deadly melee rush, especially if 2 are coming at you. Grenades are so underplayed against the hunters. Toss these bad boys to flush hunters out of cover or to stun them and hold them still to pile on damage. They're gold. Do not sleep on grenades. You have the flashbangs that have a huge giant radius, very hard for the hunters to dodge those. And you also have the fire grenades that also cast a wide net. And don't forget about the EMP grenades as well as the riot foam grenades. However, those are a little bit more difficult to land, but with good timing, it is possible. Here's a quick tip. Skip on-kill stuff. Buffs from on-kill talents fade too fast to matter here, so go for steady power instead. For example, instead of running Killer on your assault rifle, look at running Optimist instead. You're gonna burn through armor kits fast. Armor regen's a lifesaver since hunters can jam or steal your healing skills, and these are sort of prolonged fights, so there tends to be enough time for even mediocre armor regen to do its thing. You got Bellstone, you have Golan, Gila Guard, but my favorite is to run the Memento. In many cases, there's lots of combat leading up to a hunter fight, and that 3% armor regen plus the 30% weapon damage and all of the skill efficiency you get from running that Memento is worth it. However, the Memento doesn't work for like summoning hunters unless you happen to have filled that meter up beforehand. Status effects are your ace. This is the best strategy against hunters. So use talents like Trauma on your chest, Grenades, the Scorpio for its status effect application, or the St. Elmo's for its shock. To slap status effects the hunters can't block. It stops their rush, keeps them from healing, and buys you time to DPS them down. Trading a damage talent for status can be clutch. Remember, these guys hit hard. If they're locked down, you're not eating bullets, you're putting them out. Okay, let's talk about builds. I know you guys are excited about this. So if you're going solo, you need a build that can take the heat as well as dish it. Hunters are special, but they're still elites. So stack high protection from elites. That's the best defense you can get from these guys outside of something like Adrenaline Rush. So if you run Adrenaline Rush, when they come in for that melee, you're gonna get an automatic armor boost that'll help diminish some of that pain. And don't forget to grab St. Elmo's AR or Scorpio for a free status effect that they cannot jam. Think about your grenades, guys. This is going to be an important part of attacking the hunters, especially if you know where they spawn. If you know exactly where they spawn, you can huck a fire grenade or even a flashbang right before they do, locking them down immediately as the fight kicks off. For skills, well, the EMP Pulse or the EMP Sticky are good ideas to disrupt their tech. Riot Foam or Shock Traps are a fan fave to pin them down. But don't forget the decoy. It does a hell of a job to turn them around and keep them focused as you're putting on some damage, or especially if you need a quick getaway. Okay, now let's talk about some key pieces for success to help you against the hunters. And there's lots of them. I'm not going to be able to cover all of them. If you're running a shield with St. Elmo's and the Shocker Punch, you can melee to shock the hunter. The risk is if they jam you, of course, or swing that axe and break your shield. The Exodus gloves are relatively new, but very helpful against hunters. It's unbreakable, but on your gloves. So on armor break, it's going to drop a smoke bomb, but also regen some of your armor. This not only saves your butt, but also saves you on armor kits. The Memento has been around for a while, but I gotta say it is very helpful against hunters just from the 3% armor regen perspective. You have to have the ability to build up your trophy stacks in order to get that regen. So this is really good for in-mission hunters. And also, if you can leave Memento trophies scattered about, you can use those to your advantage for bonus armor and skill efficiency and whatnot. Trauma on your chest piece is a real treat against the hunters. I use it a lot against hunter fights because they can't disable this. So you're always applying the status effect onto them. And 20-second cooldown does sound like a long time, but it's frequent enough where it's there and reliable for you. My favorite one is the first one. So applies blind to an enemy hit in the head. And if you have status effects onto your build or even the Memento backpack, that's going to prolong the blind duration, which is going to allow you to put damage on them without them shooting back, because that's the downside of a DPS build is if they're shooting back while you're putting out damage on them, they're going to suppress you. Don't sleep on the Imperial Dynasty exotic holster. It stops the rush by catching whoever comes at you on fire. It's just constantly happening. Very good defensive piece, but also offensive because when they're on fire, it tends to pop them out of cover. The Negotiator's gear set is also good against hunters because as you're applying damage to one, if you have the other ones marked, they're also going to take damage. Just keep in mind they do have what feels like an unlimited amount of armor kits. The Lefty's shotgun is also really good if you're using a grenade that applies damage, even the fire grenade. That's going to give you perfect sledgehammer. So dealing damage with the grenade applies a mark on the target, and those targets are going to get 20% more damage to armor from the agent that applied the mark and have a negative 30% movement speed. So movement speed debuffs against the hunters is actually pretty good because they often escape and apply an armor kit and then you're starting all over. And it can feel like they have an unlimited amount of armor kits, but I think it's somewhere around 3 or 4. For solo, some quick tips. Remember to hug cover, use your choke points to control the fight, and always have a backdoor escape if it gets too hot. For group strategies, so if you're taking on hunters in group, things are going to be a little bit easier, but it's not a given. So if you can coordinate, it's cool if one player's job is to handle crowd control or apply status effects with Riot Foam and Shock Traps. Eclipse Protocol usually isn't the best here because it has an on-kill effect, so you might want to look at assembling a status effect build from scratch. That being said, Eclipse Protocol's stats are still good enough to get the job done if you just want to keep it simple. Here's a quick updated spin on a healer build tailored for the hunters, and I'm 100% disrupt resistance. You can run Technician and then get Faraday Field, so party members within 5 meters of your deployed and undisrupted skills are immune to shock and disruption. But the reason why I'm running Survivalist is because group members get 10% bonus damage to targets with status effects, which I'm putting out with my weapon and my fire grenades. This gives us fire grenades, and we're giving 15% increased outgoing heal. Not to mention we're going to get 10% protection from elites, so our skills will always be up. I have the healer chem, we have the restore for Hive. I'm running the Hollow Man for hazard protection. I got a skill tier on it and a disrupt resistance mod. Future initiative is really good. It's going to increase you and your allies' total weapon and skill damage by 15%. And I have hazard protection and disrupt resistance. And then the talent here is going to increase ground control from 15% damage bonus to 25%. So everybody's stronger basically. So everything looks like this: skill tier with hazard protection. If you want to just go with stronger heals, just put repair skills everywhere you see blue, but you're going to be plenty strong with this. And then the new Birdie's quick fix backpack. This allows me to pick up agents instantly. It's super fast to revive them as long as they're not flatlined. And every now and again, this is going to put you in overcharge as well and make your heals even stronger. So if you don't have the Hollow Man mask, you can craft an improvised knee pad, holster, or glove at the crafting bench. And all you need it to have is hazard protection on it, or re-roll hazard protection, and then put disrupt resistance as a mod on it. And the rest of the team should be DPS to burn them down, but still running protection from elites on a DPS build against hunters is a good idea because they can apply more damage than you can absorb in heals per second. And even though you have a crowd control player on your team, sometimes the opportunity to burn down a hunter happens when the CC player is jammed. Having something like fire grenades or flashbangs on hand, or even the Scorpio shotgun as backup, is still a really good idea for the DPS player. And don't forget about snipers. A sniper is a great DPS support player because the hunters like to play deep and then come in for an aggressive push and then fall back. If there's more than one hunter, there's always one hanging deep, and there tends to be a sniper hunter as well. So you could be a counter sniper. The Nemesis is very effective against the snipers, taking big chunks of 20 million in damage off of these guys with a single hit. This helps your DPS burn them down faster and also keeps the hunter from having time to fall back and apply an armor kit. I've used sniper builds a lot, even in solo against the hunters for floor 100, and it's quite effective. Hey, so we have this channel on our Discord, which is over 10,000 members strong, by the way. This particular build showcase channel is a great place to post your favorite builds now. So what I would like to do is invite the community to post their favorite Contra Hunter builds on this channel to share with the community. Screenshots are great if you can, and this will be great going into the Brooklyn DLC. There you go, Soloer Squad are ready to crush hunters, and drop your own tips in the comments below. See you in Brooklyn, Bandidos.
Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?